Guys, I gotta tell you, every time I walk into this dealership, I feel like a kid in a toy store. I'm back here at the Sarasota studio, the ultra luxury boutique dealership downtown Sarasota, and I'm here with this 2021 Aston Martin DB11. Now, this is the second Aston Martin that I have on the show, and I'm super excited to take you guys on the tour of this vehicle. We're gonna check out the exterior, interior, pop the hood, see what powers up this beast, jump inside of it, play with some buttons on the interior, and then finally, I'm gonna take you for a spin. So if you're ready, let's go. So have you ever wondered why it's DB? What's the DB stands for? It's simple. They're initials of David Brown. David Brown was a gentleman who bought the company in 1947, and actually is considered the savior of Aston Martin because under his reign they developed some of the coolest vehicles in the history of Aston Martin. So now a lot of their performance vehicles went back to the DB series, and this is one of them, DB11. Let's check out the front of it. I gotta tell you, I love the way that this vehicle is sculpted. The aerodynamics, the shape of it, it's out of this world. If you look at the hood, first of all, you can see this big Aston Martin wings right in front, and they leave a mark on the hood, indentation that goes all the way towards the windshield in here. You also have two indentations on both sides with the heat extractors on each side, and then it closes up right front with this big, very nice, very bright LED lights right inside of here. Nothing too crazy, nothing special, but they do have this beautiful light signatures where they're on. And at the bottom here, you can see that this mesh grille is all open, again, to allow for the maximum cooling on here. Very nice lip spoiler right in at the very bottom of here. Pretty low ground clearance, I gotta tell you, and this is open in here, and we're gonna check it out how this air is channeled on top of this engine once I pop the hood open, which is what I'm gonna do right now. All right, so to get this hood open, all you have to do is push a button, and guess what? It opens up the other way, right? Opens up like this. Let's check it out. This out, I gotta tell you, I love how it opens and how it leaves those holes for the lights, in case the lights stay on the vehicle, of course. And while we have this open, we can check out some of the suspension elements right inside of there. That's pretty cool. And this is the engine compartment. Take a look, first of all, at this bracing right here. This is unbelievable how stiff this vehicle has to be, how this helps with the stabilization, the dynamics, the driving dynamics of this vehicle. Now, this engine we've seen on other Aston Martins before, on the DBX that I done. This is the 4.0 liter V8 bi-turbo engine. That's AMG derived motor, 503 horsepower. By the way, for 2022, they upped the horsepower by 25, so it's 528. This is 2021, so it's 503, but that's still pretty cool. Made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And when I was telling you about channeling of the air, check this out. Check how it's channeled to specifically go on top of the engine right there. Also, you have all this insulation here for better sound and heat insulation for the vehicle too. Well guys, I'm gonna get this closed, but I gotta show you one other thing because it's pretty low to the ground. And by the way, did you hear that? It's actually a soft closed hood. So all you have to do is just close it. You don't have to push it. It sucks it right in and it closes it by itself, which is an amazing feature on this. Check out how the doors open. Remember when I mentioned that there is a low ground clearance right at the bottom of here? Well, look at the doors. They go up like this. They're swan style doors. So one of the reasons they did that is so you don't hit a curb if you park close to one, so you're not going to have that issue. I really love the side profile of this Aston Martin DB11. I got to tell you, it's one of the most classiest, sportiest vehicle if you can combine the two. And it is, yes, it is in the supercar category, but it's a GT, so it's a Grand Tour. It does have rear seats, believe it or not. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fit in there, but it does have them, and the interior looks absolutely amazing. But before we get to it, let's check out this profile off here. So we've seen when the hood opens, it opens up this way, and we've seen how the air is channeled out. So all the air that gets heated up by this massive engine can be extracted by the heat extractors right on top of here as well, right on the side in here. So everything that goes in, cools the brakes, cools the wheel well and the engine, can also be extracted on through here. And it's beautiful trim. Okay, so they combined the functionality and the design element with it, which is absolutely amazing. 20-inch wheels, very classy design on here. Now the tires are staggered, 255 in the front on the width, 295 in the back, so it allows for the maximum grip as well. Now the door, I showed you how they open kind of on an angle, so they open up high, and the same kind of door handles like we've seen on the DBX. Okay, first of all, you can see that it does have the system where you don't have to lock or unlock the vehicle. All you have to do is press it, and you can see, there you go, you can see the turn signals that are incorporated and the mirrors in here. And then the way you open it is you push the back of this door handle and you let this door open. The door, even though it's got to have some kind of a support system, but because it opens really nice and light. And same thing as far as the closing, boom, no issues here. It is very nicely shaped. We're going to see that better from the back, but it's a lot wider in the back than in the front. So let's check out the rear end of this DB11 of it. But before we do that, let's check something out. This is pretty cool. Look at this. This is not only a design element, this is actually for better aerodynamics. The air actually goes inside of here. See where I'm sticking my hand in? And it's channeled through the insert of here, and it comes out right through this vent right in the trunk of this vehicle. So this is a better aerodynamics and better performance. Well, you gotta let me know what you think about this rear end, because this is one pretty rear end of a vehicle. I gotta tell you, it's nice, it's wide to cover up those wheels and keep this vehicle planted on the road, of course. And then we've seen some of the pretty cool aerodynamics. The air channel that gets the air from the side of the vehicle gets channeled out in here, again for the extra downforce and aerodynamics. Rear lights, tail lights right here, very nice, very narrow, nicely wrapping around this built-in spoiler. Very nice, very bright when they're on. Also, what you can see two massive exhausts, one on each side. Sounds absolutely amazing. You'll get to experience it very soon. And then these bumps right here, I'm not sure about that. I read somewhere that this is the US requirement that the vehicles have to have them. You've seen it on some of the Mercedes-Benz. They don't look very good. I gotta tell you, Aston Martin wings, Aston Martin spelled out right here, and then you have the camera right here. Let's pop this little trunk open and see if we have any junk in that trunk. Okay, no junk in that trunk, and I gotta tell you, there's probably not much that you can fit in here unless you're going for a light grocery shopping for one person. About a week maybe. Anyways, so let's check it out. These are the channels that I was telling you about. This go all the way from the side of the vehicle and come out through the top of it. You got the camera right here, you can see it. You got the lights, and that is it. This is the trunk. You know, some people question, why are people spending so much money on vehicles like this? And until you actually start looking at them and start exploring them in depth and looking at the fit and finish that you see in one of those, you will never understand it. Because yes, you can get the same performance of a vehicle from something that's probably half the price or maybe even less than half the price of this, but do you have the same fit and finish? Do you have the same quality? Do you have the same uniqueness? No. So let's check out this interior right here. If you look at the door itself, this is all leather wrapped. Now this is real leather. Nice contrast stitching right here. You do have this embroidery right on top of here, which continues throughout the vehicle. Looks absolutely amazing. One of the things that I'm not a big fan on is this piano black, but it looks awesome. So as long as you can keep it clean, this is great. So you have the speakers in here. This is the regular 400 watt stereo, but if you're an audiophile, you can upgrade it to a 700 watt or even 1,000 watt Bang & Olufsen stereo on this. So that would be pretty amazing. Small door handle, and then you have the window controls and then the trunk opener in here, as well as the mirror controls. All right, before we jump in here, let's check this out. Look at this door sill right here. It's nice. Aluminum. Now this is a real aluminum. You see DB11, hand built in Great Britain. That's another thing. They're hand built vehicles. It takes hours for people to build them. Look at this embroidery, okay, on the seats. Absolutely amazing. Aston Martin embroidered and the headrest in here, and it does have the rear seat. Okay, let's see how much room there is, and if I'm gonna be able to fit in here. I probably could, but nobody else would. I guess, as I said, I could probably fit in here, but this would be a punishment. Okay, can I close this? Oh, please don't squeeze me. Oh, this is pretty cool, because as soon as it hits you, it feels that something or somebody's sitting in the back. It doesn't go all the way. It basically adjusts to this, but no headroom. Okay, very little room, even for the shoulder room. So this is maybe for kids. Okay, only for kids or someone that's of much smaller stature than I am. I'm 6 feet tall, and as you can see, you know, I'm trapped in here. So let's move this open and let's check out the front of it, because it's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna jump in here, but before I do that, I want to be able to show you the side of the steering wheel. So you have your light controls basically in here and your parking brake, and then this is typical of a sport vehicle, small screen, and then you can see these are pedal shifters, nice and cold to the touch. They're also mounted on the column, not on the steering wheel, so they stay in one place. Okay, here's the interior of it. No wonder this was a vehicle of choice for James Bond. I mean, he is a cool dude and he's got a good taste in clothing, women, cars. But I gotta tell you, probably not very practical for a super spy that needs to jump out of here or jump in this vehicle, because it is definitely a sports car. You have to work to get inside of it. Once you get inside of it, it's very nice, it's very comfortable. Take a look at this steering wheel. Multifunction steering wheel. What do we have? We have some suspension setting in here, and then we have the voice control in here for the phone, and then you can hang up the phone over on this side. You can pick up the phone on the other side, and you can have the home settings, and you have the sport mode in here, and then the back button. Then you have some of those dials in here. We'll check them out in a second once I get this vehicle turned on, and then we'll look in the middle of this, and then you can see, okay, like all of the Aston Martins, they have the start stop button, which is right in the middle of this console, and then you have your gear shifter on the side in here. So again, the drive is to the right hand side, because, you know, for the British people that have the steering wheel right there, this would be a closer reach. Well, let's see how this lights up once I push this engine start button. We're not going to start it, just make it light up. Alright, so let's take a look at this middle, the instrument cluster, rather compact, but you see whatever you need to see in here. So right in the middle of your big Aston Martin logo. Let's start this vehicle. Let's see actually what it does when it's, there you go. Doesn't it sound amazing? It absolutely does. But okay, so you get an idea what's right there in front. And so you can see the speedometer right in the middle, then the tachometer all around it, and then you can see the temperature right there. And then on the left hand side, let's start one more time. Okay, so you can see the suspension setting. I'm changing this right now, so you can have the Sport Plus, Comfort, and Sport suspension setting. So this is from Mercedes-Benz basically, and then you have the drive modes right on the right hand side. It's in the GT mode right now, and you can change it to Sport and Sport Plus. And once you do that, you can hear the exhaust changing its tune as well, and the instrument cluster turn more aggressive, turn red. Okay, it's white in the GT mode. Sport, it gets a little bit more aggressive. And if you get in the Sport Plus, check this out. All right, so 27.7 miles. This vehicle is brand new, and let's move to the side of it. All right, so right in the middle of here, rather small screen. I gotta tell you, I would probably wish it had a little bit bigger screen, but this is straight out of Mercedes-Benz, the command system. This is not the MBUX, but it's the older version of it. But look at the way that it's set in here. They thought about all the details of it and wanted to make sure that it's not obstructive. And maybe with the redesign, they're gonna do something else, but this looks very nice and very classy. So the way you control it, okay, is it a touchscreen? It's not a touchscreen, but you can control it basically through the little dial or twist right to the underneath this pad in the middle console. Okay, so you have the home button. This is definitely a Mercedes-Benz. This is your basic settings: navigation, radio, media, phone, vehicle settings. Let's check this out. Okay, beautiful DB11 right on the screen right here. So you have the 360 camera. Okay, unavailable right now because the vehicle is not running, I believe. And we can see time, vehicle settings, 360 camera. So pretty basic settings as far as the system settings. Time display off if you like that, and back to the main menu. Turn the climate control off. Function currently not available. This vehicle has been sitting, so we're gonna have to drive it for a second and make sure that it charges up and actually becomes available. Media, tracks, sound, phone book, new message, etc. So it's pretty simple. Okay, and honestly, for over $200,000, I wish they would be a little bit more sophisticated. But this is also not why you really buy the car, for the top of the line technology in here, but you buy it for the performance, the exquisivity, and the looks of it. So if you look at the vents built in here, okay, these one, they look good. I just think that they don't look as good as, let's say, some of the Bentleys, in this price range. I know they're blacked out. And all of these are basically the screen buttons. So you have the ventilated heated seats, you have your climate control settings, you have your radio settings, and then you have the slide button for volume, okay, media, telephone. Let's see what the camera button does. And like right now, the vehicle is not charged up enough to do it. All right, so pretty cool. This is the way you control the system right through here. You can also control it via voice, and this is your shortcut buttons. This is where you put the key, let's say, if you're not using it. What does this button do? Does it move the seat? Let's check it out. It moves the middle console, so you don't have to. Okay, so it moves this middle console, it opens it up, and then right underneath here you have the cup holders. Let's see if we can pop them open. There you go. Okay, kind of half cup holders, but they lean against this other part, so you don't have to worry about them spilling, but shouldn't probably drink hot coffee and drive high speed, right? Can you slide it manually? No, so you actually have to use this button right here. All right, so this is the interior of it. I gotta show you one other thing, because this, you will not find that in any of the other vehicles. Look at the detail on the headliner. Okay, the embroidery up here is out of this world. It is beautiful. It feels nice. It smells expensive. So, I mean, that's what you get when you are spending that kind of money. That embroidery, by the way, continues throughout the vehicle. You can see it on some of the door panels. You can see that right in the headrest Aston Martin wings, and then you can see that all the way down on the seats. Okay, check out the detail of it. It's absolutely amazing. The dashboard, the middle console, everything is leather wrapped, so it's a lot of leather inside of this vehicle. I gotta tell you, we're gonna take this for a spin and see how it performs. Well guys, I'm about to take this bad boy for a spin, so we're gonna check out some of the driving dynamics of this $200,000+ Grand Tourer sports vehicle. I gotta tell you, this vehicle is amazing. It feels good sitting inside of it. It feels fast standing still, if you know what I mean. So, you know, let's put it in gear and let's start driving it. And we're gonna talk a little bit about the price of this. So the price of first of all, there's 3 different versions of the DB11 that you can opt in for. This is the V8 Coupe, so this is the least expensive out of the 3, and this one starts at about $205,000. And of course it does have a good sonar stuff, so we don't bump into anything. But as equipped, this particular one that we're sitting in right now, that I'm sitting in, is about $230,000, and I'm going to post everything in the description of this video. The V12 version, which, you know, is the big boy, is quite a bit more expensive, and then you can also opt in for the Volante, which is the convertible. Now this one with the V8 503 horsepower, this one does 0 to 60 in about 3.6 seconds. So this is no joke. This is a very quick, very fast vehicle. I like when they have the turn signals. That's completely through the speakers right now. But as you can hear, driving it, and this is in the GT mode. We haven't switched up the modes. We haven't got the exhaust louder or the suspension or anything like this. It sounds absolutely amazing. I'm a big fan of AMG Mercedes, as you can probably even tell by my shirt. It's got an AMG logo on that. And this one, there's no difference. It sounds amazing. Combined with this design, it's crazy. I'm gonna try to open it up in just a little bit. I'm gonna switch it to a sports mode or sports plus once we get to an area where I can actually safely do that. But even with the GT mode, you can feel the responsiveness of the steering wheel. There's no body roll whatsoever. It is a stiff vehicle, but it's not uncomfortable, which is a really good thing. And the smell of the leather in here, wow, it's like you just put on a brand new leather jacket, and this vehicle just kind of feels like that too. It fits you, and you can adjust it to fit you even better. The steering wheel is really nice to the touch. It's soft, like some of the other vehicles have the Alcantara steering wheel. This one has leather wrapped steering wheel. Just kind of goes together with all of the leather appointments of this vehicle, and it's really, really nice, solid. It doesn't vehicle. There's a few things, of course, that I would like to see, especially in this price category. I would like to have a little bit maybe of the updated infotainment system, touchscreen. Now I haven't even looked at the rear view camera, which we're going to take a look in a second. And so we have this digital cluster. It doesn't really bother me at all. And you do have everything that you need. You have your speed, you have your tachometer, you have your gas gauge, and you have your temperature control. I mean, everything else could be a distraction, but in this case, I mean, this is really all you need. I'm going to tell you, this is definitely one cool vehicle. And, you know, if I were to rate it, I'd rate it right on the very top of some of the vehicles that I've driven. Now, I haven't driven many of the exotics, so there's not too many that I can compare with. But for an everyday guy like me getting into a vehicle like this, I mean, it's a really big deal. So, big thanks to the Sarasota studio and Alex for allowing me to drive this vehicle and film it for you. If you are looking for one, their inventory changes daily. I gotta tell you, I've been here a couple of weeks ago and they had a completely different inventory that they have right now. Maybe one or two cars are still the same. So check out their website. They'll post the link in the description of this video so you can know where to find them. And if you like watching videos like this, I hope to bring you some more of the ultra luxury vehicles, as well as always some of the mainstream vehicles that are on the market right now. I get excited about vehicles and I hope I can get you excited with me. So with that said, if you like watching videos like this, consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, hit that little bell notification button so you don't miss any of the videos that are coming out, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers.